say, fuck it. Let's do it live.
Oh, we're live.
We're live. Welcome to Read and Speak. It's Thursday, a new day, 3 o'clock Eastern, when everybody's home to watch. Yeah, baby. Excuse me. I'm here. My name is Sidney Winston, but you can always ask an atheist instead. And I'm here with Lou. Hey, Lou.
Hey, there, my mic works too, right? Yes.
Yeah, your mic works too. I'm thinking of like a really informal session today because I'm kind of feeling lethargically slothy.
Yeah, that's a good word there.
Yeah,
yeah, that works.
But I have an elixir here. It's called caffeine in a cup.
All right.
And I'm going to ingest this brew.
In excruciating detail?
Yes, and I'm going to see how the ingestion of this addicting, quite addicting drug, and I must admit I'm an addict. In fact, why don't we talk? I'm an addict of caffeine. In fact, why don't we talk about addiction today? But before we do that, I have to ingest my drug.
Yes. I don't have any drugs in me right now, and it's very painful.
Well, addiction doesn't have to be drugs. Addiction can be, but yeah, it has to be drugs. Okay.
Yeah, I know we live in this whole fucking touchy-feely Western civilization where like addictions can be anything. Technically, that's fucking true. But an addiction with the chemical component is a whole different animal than fucking overeating or something like that.
Well, I don't know. Overeating can manifest itself in at least two ways that I can think of. Firstly, addiction is one of them. But what do you call it when you're overeating, say, because it's a stressor? You know, it's a trigger for stress. Let's say you get stressed and then you overeat, but you don't overeat.
It's a bad coping mechanism.
Yeah, it's not. That's not classed as an addiction, I don't think, for overeating addiction.
No, but that's because it's a symptom of something else. But overeating can be in and of itself its own addiction.
Yes,
like people eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I can overeat through stress or from stress, or as a result of stress, or as a result of not having stress. I don't know how to deal with not having stress, so overeat. Yeah, it's just tough to fucking get through a day. So, Lou, how's your life going?
My life is it's going good. Let's put it that way. But it just kind of turned upside down on me this past week, but that's pretty cool. I can live with it. Yeah, sure.
Well, you're not, you know, you're not as cranky.
What? I'm like going through no nicotine lately the past, I think 4 days now, but.
Yeah, but you see, this is the thing there's a hypocrisy. Well, not a hypocrisy. I don't want to call it. The only way you can give up nicotine is if you have the will to do it. If you make the conscious decision that you're going to give it up because that's it, you're done.
Well, you have to do that with anything. It's just nicotine's one of the worst addictions.
Right, but if you've made that decision that you're done with your nicotine.
I can't afford it anymore. I don't want to afford it anymore.
Fine, but you've made that decision. You're done with the nicotine.
Yeah.
And then you go through these withdrawal symptoms.
Right. They suck.
Are you fighting this? Do you fight the withdrawal symptoms from a position of it's such a fucking struggle to keep it up, I just want to quit, or do you fight them from sort of a top looking position? Like, I've got these withdrawals. I don't give a shit because I'm done.
No, I think when you're going through the withdrawal thing, it's kind of like you're just holding on for dear life. more what it's like.
Yeah, yeah. Well, why don't you vape with 0 milligrams nicotine?
Because, well, for one, that doesn't help with the addiction, and for two, that costs money. They'll charge you the same amount for the 0 nicotine.
Oh, absolutely. No, there's no doubt about it. And I'm more than willing to pay that for mine.
Yeah, I'm not. That's $30, $40 a month that I can spend on other things, you know.
What? I don't spend that in a year.
I can spend that much on pot or a cheap prostitute, maybe. I think one without teeth.
I don't know. I don't hang around the same neighborhoods as you.
Oh, that's funny. Nifty. I'm looking at homes too.
So tell people what's going on with your life. Tell people what's coming up.
It's a secret. I would get in trouble. It's a secret. It's top super.
Okay. Well.
So,
can I tell people what's coming up for Reason Speak?
yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Well, this is like, okay, you've heard it here first. Okay, this is like the very first time that anyone in the whole world is hearing this, and there's one person watching. So you are so lucky. I have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
But in about what, 2 or 3 shows, maybe 2 shows.
Yeah, something like
that. And then the next show, and then there'll be either no co-host or a new co-host.
Well, we'll find a new co-host. You need a co-host.
Why do we need a co-host when I'm so good at doing this without one?
If you don't have a co-host, you'll start inviting people like Rand Campbell in here, and then the world goes to hell. So we need to keep a co-host.
No, I can't invite Rand Campbell. I have an innate something within me innately denies me the ability to click on Rand Campbell's on the invite button with Rand Campbell's name in the invitee field.
So what you're saying is he has you blocked. Because
I can only hope.
Those people block everybody.
I can dream and only hope.
It's safe to assume that they have you blocked with that group.
They probably have me blocked under Ask an Atheist, but they probably don't have me blocked under Sydney Winston.
Yeah, SecularTv can be out there pimping some people. Yeah, there, man. You thought you had me blocked.
No, I can't do that. Unless Randy commands me, go forth and.
Randy would probably enjoy that shit. He'd probably want a ringside seat. He'd be like, "Yeah, do it."
Mm-hmm.
Like, find people that have you blocked, and then go on to the other. Go on with SecularTv and just start talking shit to them.
Back to addictions. I'm just wondering,
if
there's anyone who has no addictions at all. None. Zero. Zip. And I'm not just talking consumable, consuming shit. I'm talking about, well, anything.
And porn is not an addiction. That does not count.
Porn
and masturbation are not in the DSM-5. So at least they better not be, because that's retarded.
I think we have to count porn as an addiction.
No, not going to do it.
Well, is there ever a time of the day? Let me ask you this: is there ever a time of the day or night, not including when you're sleeping, because that's not going to count, all right?
That's not going to count.
Is there ever a time of the day or night when you do not have porn up on one of your screens?
Personally, actually, lately, I really haven't had porn at all.
Lately,
yeah.
Okay. Now, if you could just elaborate a little bit on lately. Lately is being in the last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I'd say a week or so. Yeah.
Yeah. No porn in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So you're a recovering porn addict.
I'm going to join the Westboro Baptist Church, I think.
You're really recovered. Oh, then you're done. You're actually fully recovered. That's lovely.
Super recovered, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not really an addiction. That's just whether or not you have a sucky life, right?
Okay, so the indication here is that your life has improved in the last week.
Oh, I don't, well, yeah, that's for sure true, but whatever. That's not the whole point. That wasn't the point. I wasn't talking about me. I was talking about in general.
Well, in general, is not here to defend herself. So
Really? Well, we need to get them in here. Is anybody saying anything? No, no one's watching.
Oh, I'm not even looking at the.
No one's watching us. Turn us on. Wait.
Well, seriously. If you had the choice, Lou, would you watch us?
If I had a choice, I'd be sleeping.
Exactly. So, oh, you know what I was wondering?
So that does make sense, kind of, in a weird kind of way.
I wonder why I don't have the Q&A thing open. That didn't work for me today. I didn't seem to have the.
Is it always open?
Usually, yeah. I mean, yes, except for today.
I didn't know that. So in this past week, my primary grinder broke. The little fancy one with the keef collector on it broke, right?
Well, you know what? I have this bullet thing. Have you ever seen the bullet grinder?
Probably.
So what you do is
that's just as the weird thing.
Yeah, I used that.
A keef chamber is the question. You have to have a keef catcher.
Oh, what's that? Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does at the bottom here.
The keef screen. Yeah, it has to be double screen.
Yeah, there's a little screen there, a little catcher there.
So you got double screen. Yeah, so that's the... Anyways, I had one of those like that, and it broke.
It broke. It just what? Manufactured defect?
No, I've had it for a while. I had it for like I think 2 or 3 years, but the handle just came off. I don't know. I couldn't get it to go back on either.
Well, sometimes if you pack it too much and stuff, you get that sort of thick resin shitty coating on the.
No, the handle
on
came
the
off.
inside or the outside of the rim of the two parts that touch when they connect.
Yeah, no, the handle came off.
The handle. I don't have a handle.
I had a little. You have a handle to turn the grinder.
You know, I live in a rainforest. It was such a beautiful day yesterday, and it's fucking freezing cold and raining today.
Everybody around this continent is saying that it's like been cold and freezing lately. There's your evidence that global warming is not happening. It's been cold today.
It's freezing right now.
Yeah, see? We're in a global cooling trend.
It's colder now than it was yesterday, so don't tell me about global warming.
Yeah.
You know, if I just take what I observe, which is yesterday and today, and I do observe it, and I can give you the evidence because I even took pictures yesterday of what a beautiful day it was and how lovely hot it was. Everybody's wearing t-shirts, and today I'm freezing. It's raining.
Today
I'm miserable because it's raining.
Are we even on air? Yeah, we are. Yeah. My computer's about ready to die, I think. I don't know. It's been trying to die for like 2 years though, so.
Oh well, hopefully it can sort of stretch out for the next 90 minutes. 90 minutes. 90 minutes? Yeah, we can do 90 minutes. Sure.
90.
Right.
I don't think so.
So if I just said that I'm miserable because of the weather, and what a fucking arrogant fucking asshole I am. I mean, I come on this show every week and I talk about Mr. Raif Badawi sitting in the fucking jail in Saudi Arabia because he's an atheist like you and me.
Yeah, you can't compare that shit though. That's lame. You can't even compare that shit.
But he's still sitting there.
Yeah, so you still can't compare it. So what? Yes, he's sitting there, and
He's
there are
sitting there
literally
because he's an atheist and he's being fucking tortured, psychologically, probably, but just as much as physically and whatever. You have to,
there's millions of people all over the planet in jail and getting raped and tortured by guards and shit like that for all kinds.
Yeah, I mean, what a fucking
There's
horror
women
show.
getting killed every day for not wearing the proper fucking paper bag over their head or some shit.
Yeah, not growing his beard long enough.
Yeah, there's
shaving. You'll get punished for fucking being alive. That's just.
There's fucking 12-year-old children out there that are getting raped to death by their new husbands on their honeymoon nights, their wedding nights.
Yeah, well, I'm just hating on Saudi Arabia right now.
Well, yeah, they deserve to be hated on.
I'm hating on Iran.
You hate them too.
I'm hating on Saudi Arabia right now, and I'm hating on Iran.
You already said that.
Oh, and I'm fucking laughing at Indonesia because they're a bunch of fucking idiots too.
I don't know what they did, and I don't care.
I don't know. One day I want to have a segment devoted to talking about these two Australians that are on death row in Indonesia for the
on death row.
Yeah, heroin trafficking.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even that hard of a drug anymore.
They're going to be hanging. They're going to be swinging from the end of a rope within weeks, I'm sure.
Yes, that's how it tends to work. So yeah, my nice grinder broke, but then I looked through my closet and I found my old fucking industrial sized. Well,
that's a coffee grinder, a coffee bean grinder.
That's what they call it.
That's what they call it. That's a brilliant idea. I got one of those actually, and I don't use it because I already buy ground coffee. Oh, what a brilliant idea!
But you use it to grind weed.
What's weed?
This is the weed grinder.
Why would you grind your weed when you're supposed to, remove them from the lawn and throw them away? Huh?
Not the weeds, the weed.
So, George Meyer says Saudi Arabia will collapse when their oil runs out. George, are you saying that Saudi Arabia lies on a bed of oil, and when it runs out, then the whole country's going to collapse into the hole that's left when the oil runs out?
That sounded like an anti-Israeli rant to me.
Was it? Yes, I'm anti-Israel because Israel should have chosen a spot where there's oil underneath itself. What the fuck?
I don't know. Somebody just said my grinder would ruin the pot, but that really is why we have science, and the joints that I roll with it and smoke get me pretty fucking high. So
Hold on. He didn't say ruin your pot. He says that grinder will make the. Okay, you say that fucking word. Tocopherols oxidize.
I don't know.
No, what the hell that is.
I don't know. Weed is temperature sensitive, not really motion sensitive. I mean, I guess technically it is, but if it's in a confined space, it's all right.
Temperature sensitive in what way?
You can't, it's hard to cook. You can't cook it. I think it's 325 degrees. You don't want to go above.
Really?
Yeah, because I want to get away from smoking all smokables. And
making cookables or edibles?
Yeah, make some cookables.
Mm.
I want some.
I don't know.
I want some cinnamon toast bake. The cereal,
No, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
You never had like cinnamon toast crunch?
No. Is that like another name for sugar?
What?
What's it made out of?
What's what made out of? Oh, cereal?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
It's a cereal. You don't have grocery stores in Canada?
Not yet. No.
Not yet.
No.
Not a one?
We're a couple of decades behind the rest of the world, okay?
Right, right.
No, we probably have one back east. That's where they all start first.
Everything goes to the east first, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Except Starbucks. Starbucks started on the west coast.
Okay. What else?
And Microsoft. And Microsoft started on the west coast.
I know that's in my
Boeing. Boeing started on the west coast.
Yeah, that's in my state too.
Yeah, exactly.
What's that trying to say? Oh yeah, that says my state has a lot of shit in it. That's right. We're one of the few states left in the union that actually fucking manufactures a damn thing in this place.
Aren't you the only state?
No, we're not the only state that has factories. Just one of them. There's not many.
Yeah, but you know, your factories manufacture for the military industrial machinery.
Well, I don't count those factories as factories.
What are they?
Those are just money pits.
Well, they create jobs.
No, they don't.
People don't work there?
They don't create jobs. They take away jobs.
Hear that lovely sound? God's calling.
You better answer that phone.
I'm not fucking answering it. I'm in the mood.
You're in the nude. So we've taken a survey and we're thinking that nobody on YouTube is wearing pants.
What's the probability of error?
The probability of error, I think it's approaching 0. It's like a 0.01% error possibility, maybe.
Listen to this. Listen to this recipe. Melt unsalted butter in a double boiler. Add crushed bee pot. Leave to simmer all day. All day. At night, put it in the refrigerator to extract lots more when it gets solid. And I guess that's butter.
Yeah, you see the key part is where they're saying to put it in the fridge and they're trying to say that it'll whatever extract more stuff. Tells you that the person has never studied chemistry, because THC is a fat soluble chemical and it needs to be in liquid fat to be able to fucking leach it out of the plant, which means it has to be warm fat. So the fridge doesn't do jack shit for you. Just chemistry.
I agree with what George just said. He says religions, whether Christian, Jewish, or Muslim, are dying out. Saudi Arabia is keeping their citizens under control with an army paid for by the oil. Young people want change. Yeah, I agree with that, for sure. For sure.
It ain't gonna happen though.
Oh, yeah. You know what? One day we're gonna wake up and there's gonna be something's gonna start. A fuse is gonna be lit somewhere. A spark is gonna light a fuse, and it's gonna be a rolling kind of revolution of some sorts, just like they tried back in the Arab Spring.
Yeah, no,
they're gonna do one. They're gonna get one right.
What you need to do is to have an education revolution.
That's
have
what's
a
coming.
Where all the well-off countries pay for everybody on the planet to go to college, and then religion would die overnight. So that's my solution. Free college for all those that pass the entrance exams and maintain a 2.5 GPA.
Young people and women will rise up as their wealth. The oil exports dry up. It will be a bloody revolution, but it will happen, says George Meyer.
George Meyer.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, not when we're alive.
Oh, what are you talking about? It could happen by the end of this, by the end of the year. Before we know.
Yeah, I know. It's only been around for thousands of years. I'm sure it'll be gone by the end of the decade, right?
Yeah.
Right?
No. By the end of the year. By the end of the year. Well, maybe that's a little bit. That's a little bit optimistic.
Why don't we just get rid of it by the end of the month?
Because the end of the month is like people are busy.
People are
tax
busy.
season. It's tax season. The end of the month is like next week or at the end of the week or something.
Sweet. Yeah.
Education kills religion. Don't you know it?
Don't you know?
Don't you know it? So that's what Ken Lee says. Education kills religion. I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more.
Ken Lee was good.
Although, in a way, it's education that has fueled religion, because all they're doing is being educated on religion.
What? No, not all education is from religion.
Well, if you sit there in a madrasa all day and you're learning to chant the Quran,
that's not for education.
Well, it is education. That's kind of, it's like, there's good medicine, there's bad medicine. Well, there's good education, there's bad education.
No, that's indoctrination there.
Yeah, but they're still learning to read, and they're still, you know what I mean?
Not really. They're learning how to set a timer, maybe. Here are your egg timers. Practice.
Uh-huh.
Right?
I'm only going to show you this once.
And, then there you go to the next class that says, don't touch the red wire.
Excuse me.
What the heck is going on over here? We got 4 people.
I see 6.
You got 6?
Yeah.
Well, that's 10 if you add them together. That's creation.
Thank you for watching us. We are in you know what it is here? It's raining. It's like here in Vancouver when it rains. It's like the first day of rain after a run of really nice sort of dry weather, and like it's damp, right? The air itself is damp and it's cold and miserable.
What I think happened
pouring. What?
There's a problem at the local zoo, and all the Z monsters escaped. So there's a plethora of, there's probably a Z monster hiding in my apartment, probably. I'm guessing. Pretty sure.
A Z monster?
Yeah, you never heard of the Z monsters?
Well, I don't think they're allowed north of the border.
They're not allowed north of the border. So Canadians don't sleep.
No, sleep? No. According to Canadian tradition, you'll have plenty of time to sleep when you're dead.
Yeah. George says it's raining everywhere, even in Ottawa. How do you say that? Ottawa? Ottawa?
I have no idea. It's a very strange word from a very strange country.
It's really fast, and it's like Ottawa, and it doesn't matter, right? But if you slow it down and try to do each syllable, you're like, okay, that's a little more difficult.
I think it's Ottawa. Ottawa. Yeah, Ottawa. Yeah, Ottawa. No. If it's about to rain in Southern California, then we have a problem. Isn't this the first time ever in the history of Southern California that it's ever rained there?
That what? What?
It's about to rain in Southern
California too. I'm pretty sure it rains in Southern California.
Oh, it does.
Not often. It's like a fucking desert down there or some shit, but.
Sleep, a word I cut out of my dictionary.
It rains in California. Go northern California.
No, not in Southern California.
Who cares about Southern California?
I know these things. I've watched TV shows made in Southern California.
Who cares about really? What's in Southern California? What is Southern California?
Gorgeous women.
I don't need to worry about that anymore. So.
Okay. Okay. Enough of the illusions and
What?
And the read between the lines. I'm having a problem here. My eyesight is failing to read between the lines. Tell me.
I'm just saying there's beautiful women everywhere. You don't need to go to Southern California to find them.
You just
No?
You're avoiding.
I'm avoiding. No.
You're dodging.
I'm being serious there. I'm just being dead serious. Really. There's nothing different between women in Southern California and women outside of Southern California. Pretty sure. I could be wrong. There could be a difference, but I don't think so.
Well, I just noticed something. And I could be wrong.
Could be wrong.
But did you shave?
Oh, yeah. I did that a while ago.
Oh.
That was like 2 weeks ago, I think. Yeah, there's a long story there.
Oh, we got time.
No, we can skip that one. Okay, I can tell you the story, but this is the last time I'm telling the story, and it's going to be the super condensed version. Right.
Well, yeah, because keep it. I got an errand to run in about 4.5 hours. So can you at least be done by then?
4.5 hours.
If you can be done by then, that would be lovely.
Oh no, Ken's from Southern California. I'm sorry, Ken. Just so you know, that place has already been zoned for destruction in the coming apocalypse.
All wild. Where's that?
The only thing that's going to be in Southern California after the apocalypse is zombies and tumbleweeds. Yes, man.
George asked you a question specifically.
What?
Can you talk about the Muslim population in Europe and what type of changes will occur there?
That's not for me specifically. That was an in general question.
I know what you can.
I know what you're trying to do there.
No, I wasn't. I really wasn't.
No, because I live over there, and here's what's going to happen. More or less nothing until something like water or oil gets really short, and then everybody's going to start killing each other no matter what religion they follow. So, yeah, I'm not really worried about it. But Muslims in Germany will continue to act like good little German citizens because that's the safest place on the planet to live, is Germany. Right? So if you're a Muslim living in Germany, I'm pretty sure you're going to follow the laws because it's a nice place to live and you don't want to have to like get kicked out.
Why is Germany specifically the safest place to live?
I don't know, just their policies, their laws and shit like that. Social safety net, maybe. Their high employment rates could be another contributing factor. Their high education priorities. Their drive to make quality products and sell them for ass loads of cash overseas is probably another contributing factor. So Germany's got a lot going for it. Even though their chancellor girl is ugly. Merkel.
Yeah, what a letdown, eh?
I could not dance with her.
You couldn't dance with her?
No, couldn't do it.
Well, you know, I couldn't dance with her either, but the thing is, I couldn't dance with anyone. I don't know how to dance.
You know what's worse than Merkel? Dancing with Merkel?
No.
Mike Huckabee's wife. Okay, if you're watching this right now, go Google Mike Huckabee's wife and look at that piece of work.
Never seen her.
Oh, you ain't missing nothing if you're looking for pretty. Oh, we cried.
Oh, I'm not going to concern myself with that. That's not.
Yeah, this is a fucking rainy, nasty, let's take a nap West Coast kind of day, it looks like.
That is, I know.
It's like all cloudy out.
So I just want to know what people want me to talk about. You know, it's Ask an Atheist, and I'm getting no questions.
He just asked you what you need to answer the question. Can
What's
you
the
talk
question?
about the Muslim population in Europe?
The Muslim population in Europe. Well, Europe is not just one entity. Europe is, I mean, the Muslim population in France is the Muslim population of France, and not the Muslim population of Europe.
So let's talk about the Muslim population of a place in Europe like, I don't know, the Soviet Union or Russia, or what do they want to call themselves this decade?
Well, the Muslim population of Russia is probably not very high, but there are ex-Soviet provinces which are now, I guess, independent countries, like, you know, Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan and all sorts of stands that are all Muslim. Chechnya.
Holy crud, I got one for you. So I have to go talk to this fucking therapist, right? And the other day he's actually asking me about Reikis.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you know what Reikis are, right?
Okay, let me get a type of shoe.
No, it's an entire scam artist. It's an arm of the Woo Woo Club. And Reiki is where the people touch you with magic hands. They have,
Oh, like Reiki healing? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's and my therapist was asking me about that. I'm like, dude, that's a total fucking bullshit. Total bullshit.
It is.
Ooh. I don't think anybody's awake today. I think Waziristan is primarily Muslim. What's Waziristan?
Well, if it's got a stan on the fucking end of the name, it's Muslim.
Waziristan? How do you pronounce that?
Waziristan.
Waziristan.
And then there's Englandistan.
Englandistan. Canadistan.
Well, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Yeah, I just don't have the mojo today. Cool.
Like there's what do they have? Detroitistan in the States?
The what?
Detroitistan.
We have Alabama and Detroit, Stan. Reiki, I poke you really hard. Yeah, that's pretty much what Reiki is. It's related to.
So in other words, let me ask you then: do you think chiropractic is woo-woo as well?
Yeah, it's a fucking scam, like all the other woo-woos. I'm a no woo-woo person. No woo-woo allowed. Fuck woo-woo.
Woo-woo be gone.
Yes. Chiropractic is a scam. Fucking. What else do they sell in stores and at doctor's offices that shouldn't be?
Only homeopathic medicine.
Yeah, it's not medicine. It's not.
It's nothing. It's plain water. It's virtually plain water.
Siristan, okay.
Any of these potents. Anyway, yes, getting back to the Muslims of Germany, of Europe.
Muslims.
Okay, the Muslims of Europe should all go and fight in Syria, all of them. Mothers, fathers, children, women, men, everybody, go fight in Syria.
Right. I have a better idea. Let's gather up into our little cattle cars of fictional genocide and load up every single person that has a holy book and believes in it. I think that right there is pretty.
I really have a solution. This is the thing, okay? I don't think we need to concentrate on all the Muslims.
No, I said everybody.
I think what we're going to do, is get all the Muslim males, only the males, not the females, just the males.
I know where this is going. You're going to get a vagina surgically implanted on their forehead.
All the males?
Yeah, so they can get fucked to death.
Sure,
all
sure.
Right.
Get the vaginas on and then get them the fuck out of here. Now, bye. Go. Go back to somewhere to stand and stay there and be happy. Now, don't you think that would solve the problem? And that's what Europe should do. Was it George who asked the question? George, Europe should take all the Muslim males and send them back to Turkey or wherever, and Europe is resolved.
Nope, that's pretty damn racist.
No, it's not. I'm saying just the males.
Yeah, that's racist.
It's genderist.
It's still racist.
It's not racist.
Ew.
The Muslim, there's nothing racist about it. Muslims, Islam itself is not it's not a race. Muslims aren't a race.
There is an ethnic.
And males aren't a race. I happen to be part of that gender.
It's not race isn't about gender.
What's it about?
It's about what kind of dangly bits you got. That's what gender's about.
That's right. But I got the same dangly bits as the people that I'm exiling.
Oh, right, sure. And
well, it's just my solution.
Okay. But that's a lot of fuel. I think it'd be better to just march people straight into the fucking ocean. Nearest ocean.
No. People have a right to practice their hatred, but back in Hatredistan.
I didn't say we would march them under the water. I just said into the water.
Into the water, yeah. Swim back.
So they can play some water game.
Swim back to the land of the oilless desert.
Yeah. So they can play volleyball and water polo. Cool frisbee.
Okay, but I seriously think that is there a vaccine against Islam? And like when you're sort of a kid, you can sort of get vaccinated against Islam?
Yeah, it's called reading the Quran.
Well, no, there's very few Muslims who actually have read the Quran.
Apparently so, because if they had, they would understand that women are only worth 2/3 of a man, according to the inheritance laws.
That high? I thought it was like a half.
No, I think they're right around the 2/3 for most things.
Fucking progressive, man. Jeez.
Compared to Christianity. Because, the old Christians, what they say, would make that hooker shut the fuck up. Right there in Timothy 2:11.
My knowledge of the fiction of the Gospels and shit like that is a little lacking. I know bits and pieces. I've read a lot, but it's so repetitive, and I kind of fall asleep and miss. It just seems like you miss a whole bunch. It's like a soap opera. You can start watching it in 1996 for a year, let's say, and then come back to it like today. You can pick up on exactly what the plot, as if you haven't missed a day.
That's how religion is.
Eastern Caucasoids, all Muslim. Yep.
But atheists only choose to be atheists so they can continue to live their life of sin.
No, it's because eating babies is not a sin, according to atheism.
According to atheism, all babies got to be eaten.
So how is it that we survived being eaten by atheists?
How do we survive being eaten by atheists?
Well, we did, because we survived being eaten by atheists by virtue of the fact that we are here as adults, say?
Because everybody knows, even the atheist knows, okay, it's important to point this out. Every single atheist knows in their heart of hearts that God is real, all right?
Well, if you listen to Saita and Brugenkate, and he's on the internet.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
On the internet. Yeah. So there's no such thing as a good atheist. You know, they're all denying their evil sin nature, right?
But what if I could show you, if I were to assert that every single atheist from the beginning of time until a minute ago on their deathbed has repented to Jesus, every single one of them?
Yeah, well, that's true. Every single atheist is converted to Christianity on their deathbed.
Right.
I mean, according to what I see in the news, that is.
So hell's pretty fucking empty then, isn't it? I think it's just going around. If they one or two people, maybe, well, they like walking around, what they can do, you know? You could swim in a lake of fire for alone for only so long before you get bored.
Millennia. Yeah.
Yeah, man, geez.
6,000 years. Satan's been doing backstrokes in that lake of fire for 6,000 years.
Hold on a second. The world hasn't been around for 6,000 years, has it?
Yeah. Between 6 and 10, according to the Neffis.
Right. So
we should build a Nephipedia.
you go right ahead.
Come on, somebody build a Nephipedia. Catalog,
Delegate that one.
Catalog and cross-reference every single category he's ever spoken on. And then find out how many college degrees it would take if he actually knew anything about what he was talking about. Holy crap.
Did you almost fall asleep in mid-sentence?
Yep. Ooh, look at this.
Show us.
Okay, I'll have to show you. If I can. I can find the thingy. There it is. Now I can try to show. Fucking my internet won't unfuck itself.
Maybe you haven't plugged your mouse in properly or something.
My what?
Your mouse.
I got a brand new mouse. I just bought it.
I never said you didn't. I said maybe you haven't plugged it in properly.
It's plugged in.
Maybe there's fluff in the USB. I don't.
Here it is. I don't know if anybody can see jack shit anyways.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, actually,
YouTube milestones.
there we go.
Has no respect for trademarks. YouTube begins transition to H2 MPEG 4 AVC for reading. Okay. Is best suited for blurry playback of 30 seconds of Josh Groban concert recorded on a smartphone. Okay, we don't have to share that anymore. You always got to check out Onion, though.
I very seldom check it Onion. I rely on people to bring the Onion articles of note to me.
They're the most accurate news source on the internet, though.
I know, but that's no, they're not the most accurate news source on the internet. Live News is the most accurate.
Ken is saying the Nephipedia would be printed on a Mobius strip.
Mobius strip.
Yeah, Mobius strip. However you want to, you know what that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Does everybody know what that is? I would hope so. Okay, we all do. Yeah. Holy crud. Guess what? I'm going to get my truck fixed this week.
So I saw a picture of your truck. It's a pretty fucking, hillbilly kind of
It works.
I can tow a trailer type truck.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's a pretty big truck.
Yeah.
It
So
gets
when you say you're gonna get it fixed, are you gonna climb under it, or are you gonna take it somewhere and say fix it?
No, I'm gonna figure. I don't have to climb under it. I'm just gonna fix it. I gotta put it back together. I'm getting all the parts for the little bastard. And then,
So are you gonna drive a trailer down to California, and is that how you're gonna move?
no, I'm fucking redneck. I don't own a lot of shit.
So you're just gonna drive?
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pack up a few things like my computer. I got this big ass box in front of me that you can't see with the TV, and not sure about the Xbox. I might leave that here. And
Well, whose house is that? What are the couch behind you there?
I'm not sure about the couch. I'd probably leave that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably just take in my clothes and my TV and my hat and not much else.
And your truck? Make
And
sure there's oil.
And what?
Make sure there's oil in the truck.
Oh, well, there's plenty of oil in the truck. It doesn't leak. It just has wheels that wanted to fall off. Wait, you know,
Wow.
down here. Diving down to California.
So I need some I need suggestions from the wider audience out there.
Carbs are a pain in the butt. Holy crud. So who wants to come in the room and hang out with Sid?
I need suggestions on future topics that people want to see or know more about or seeking answers on or information on.
Wait, was today a holiday?
Somewhere, maybe.
Somewhere? No, I thought it was like a real holiday. Profits. The Onion is staffed by profits. That's a good one.
Ha ha ha.
Oh, that's a good topic right there. Do you know what prophets are? The biblical ones?
They people who can foresee future events, maybe?
Nope.
I don't know.
Nope, that's not what a biblical prophet was.
All right, then what?
A biblical prophet is a traveling minstrel.
Okay.
They are literally motherfucking traveling motherfucking singers. That's all they were. So when the Bible's talking about this prophet saying this to this other prophet and the kings are paying the prophets, they're having parties. That's all it's talking about.
Prophet parties. Woo-hoo!
Yeah, it's like the traveling circus. You'd have some prophets and with the traveling circus.
These Muslims and these Christians have been so duped. I kind of feel immensely sorry for you guys. So sorry for your big dupedness. Really, I'm sincere about it. I'm sorry that you bored into the bullshit. But if you're still alive and watching this, there is time.
We'd actually have to. Yeah, I think they had minstrel cycles too. No, but before covering the false flaggers, we'd actually have to research it and have articles that we had previously read and videos to show and, a presentation basically. Right? I think.
Not a clue what you're talking about, actually.
You know what DMCA is, right?
Oh, DMCA, yeah.
Okay, we can talk about that next week, I guess.
You want to talk about DMCA next week?
Yeah.
Okay, well, have we decided on a topic for this week yet?
This week? Isn't this week? Now?
Like now, today, yeah, for today's show, we're going to think of something to talk about for today's show.
Well, we only have to talk about it for 5 minutes, and then I'm taking a nap.
Oh, why? Has the show started yet? Are we live?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah, we are.
I think we went live a while
Well, we
back.
should get the show underway if we're live. I mean,
Yeah. Somebody out here should come into the show.
What?
Yeah. So who wants to, if anybody wants to come in, tell Sid, because I'm going to go take a nap. You know why?
Your contract says you have to stay until the top of the hour.
I have a contract?
You do.
I don't remember cutting any veins.
No. In order to not disturb your life's routine, the contract was completed with you while you were sleeping.
Good plan. Good plan.
Yeah.
Avoid complications.
Yeah, exactly. The minimal intrusion.
Right. Yeah, no, I just need to catch up on my sleep.
So, okay, let me think. You've been doing like all night hangouts with somebody?
Me?
Well, why are you catching you sleep? I mean, what are you doing?
Anybody seen me on a live hangout?
I never said. Maybe it's a private hangout. Maybe it's not a live hangout.
Are you trying to say I've been skulking around?
Have you been skulking around? I never said it, but have you?
It's a possibility.
But
we'll have to talk about that more next week,
So next week you're gonna release some more details? Is this what I'm understanding?
It's a possibility.
Oh wow. So hey, everybody out there, look forward to next week, because next week we're gonna learn some secrets. We're gonna learn some new stuff. We're gonna learn stuff that nobody knows on this planet.
Yes.
For the first time.
Ever. Yeah, pretty much, actually, yeah. We can call it that. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Any other last questions? You did not remove my sleep. What the hell movie is that from?
No. While you were sleeping, I took the liberty of removing your feet.
No one removed my feet. What movie is that?
I saw a movie like that once.
Where?
With
is that Steve?
It was this guy who was in a motel. It was tied to a bed by this nurse chick.
That
somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what the movie was called. But she took his feet off.
Night Gallery, A Fear of Spiders, Junior Marmalade. What? That's not it. No results were found.
I'm not reading the same thing you are, I don't think.
Okay, so it's not a thing. I thought it was a thing, but it's not a thing. I know it's not a thing because I Googled it and Google said it was not a thing.
What's not a thing? That's not what did you think was a thing that's not a thing that you Googled and that confirmed that it's not a thing?
Oh, he says Twilight Zone. The Fog. No. Now you're just making up shows.
Twilight Zone's a show, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The Fog is a movie, I think.
Yeah. It was originally a short story.
Somebody was mentioning in a hangout, I think it was yesterday, that the most disturbing horror movie I've ever seen was one called The Mist. Have you ever heard of that one or seen that one?
I get that confused with the stupid clone version because you have The Fog and The Mist. And one's a decent Stephen King movie, and the other one's just a crap thing trying to capitalize off of a title.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a horror movie.
But it wasn't. It was Stephen King. It's Stephen King adaptation, so it's not really that scary. No.
Stephen King's Misery.
Yeah.
Is there such a book? I don't read Stephen. I think I've read one.
Yeah, that's the movie you were talking about, where the lady, the does bad things. The nurse does bad things to the right.
I was at a Stephen King movie, Stephen King story.
Kidnaps and whatever.
Michelle, thank you. Very good.
Alrighty. Right. Oh, guess what it is? Misery.
I heard that today. What is today?
It's the hour right now. You need to give the promo or the thingy, the outro, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Because I'm gonna head out the door. The Fog is the title of that Twilight Zone episode 2. Okay, so it was a Twilight Zone and the Stephen King movie.
Oh, all right. All right then, everybody. You have been watching Reason Speak on SecularTv. Your host, Sid Riskin and Sydney Winston. They call me Ask an Atheist here on the internet.
On the internet.
This is where I live.
Blue.
Okay, and I just want to plug a little bit about SecularTv. The goal of SecularTV is to help promote unique and interesting content while focusing on a variety of diverse ideas that appeal to the various groups in the wider secular community. That's what we do. That's who we appeal to. That means you. So I want to appeal to you to stay secular, be secular, live secular, breathe secular.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. Here's my ending spiel. Apparently today is fucking open secular day, where you're proud to be openly secular or whatever. So I don't know what that fucking means.
It's just like idiot. Yeah, proud to be secular every day.
Yeah. I don't need a holiday for it.
No.
Thank you, Ken. I'm definitely going to nap well.
All right, folks. Thanks again for watching. Come back next week. We got some surprises. Lou's going to shock us all. Or maybe not. Maybe he'll surprise us. He'll make us all smile. Bye.